if I was Webflow, I would just go all in on the MCP. One of the problems I'm facing right now with the MCP is
Figma MCP. Would it be possible to just say copy this design from Figma and put it in Webflow?
if I would start a business right now, I would choose Framer.
Okay, Yar. So Webflow MCP, is this the future of editing websites in Webflow?
Well, the Webflow MCP has been around a little more than a year. When it was introduced, everyone was so happy because we're just starting to use these AI tools like Cloud and Cursor. And they introduced this tool that you connected to your Webflow website. And was like, oh my God, that's something we've been waiting for a long time. When it started, I think it was just controlling the CMS, just backend stuff, nothing in the designer, nothing in the visual part, more like data structure, CMS, maybe making like blog posts or articles or things like that through the MCP, which was great. And you could connect it to Cursor and Cloud. And I've played around with it so much, made a few videos as well. Was so happy with it. Then they updated it as well. They allowed more CMS features like creating fields, creating a full collection. It had more tools by then. But then few days before the conference, a few days before the Webflow conference, they announced like now it controls the designer. It has some design tools. You can do visual stuff with it through the AI, which is something really, really like we were waiting for this for a long time. This is something that's been much anticipated. And we finally got it. I've been playing around with it a lot. Now I think there are 42 tools in total in the Webflow MCP. I use it with Cursor mainly, and I've been playing around with it a lot. It's very interesting. It's really, really powerful, and it's still new. Let's say it's still young. It's like a baby designer, a baby developer. But I see this to be a very big thing that can really help us shorten the way we work, like by a lot. We can a 10-hour job can be a 10 minutes job, something like that. It's really good. But yeah, this is mainly the MCP. Then in the Webflow conference, they announced more advancement on this MCP. And then they announced that there will be something in Webflow to kind of replace the MCP, but they will still operate separately. So we're still waiting on that. I saw a preview of it on the Webflow conference. Looks super promising, but I still feel like the MCP is something that they should work on and make it powerful. And I think it's really powerful and has a lot of potential on it.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I've been playing around with the MCP a little bit, and I've seen your videos about it. And as you said, it has so much potential. But I'm already like thinking about the Webflow like native AI builder, and what if it is just like very basic stuff, and the MCP is actually better because you can hook it up with your choice of LLM, and can like Webflow train an AI and compete with other AIs. So what does your like crystal ball say for the future? Which will win?
I know Webflow's been trying to do this AI thing. They did something like the AI builder, I think a few months back, where you can use an AI builder on a specific templates. And so they made these specific templates. You can go and build with the chat prompts. You can build websites, but they're fixed on the template, so you don't have much options there. I don't know if that was much of a success. I honestly didn't see much use cases about it. But then they are trying, like in the Webflow conference, we saw this. Basically, it's the integration of this MCP inside Webflow. It's great, and I think it's something that might be, enhanced and can be useful. However, I still think that the MCP is something that they should focus on more. And this connection between Webflow and the MCP will help Webflow be that great product, be that great website builder, while this AI feature is kind of externalized. So you just use like Cursor or Cloud, and in Cursor you can use different models like GPT or Grok or any of those. And then you have that handled in Cursor, But then you have your Webflow website. It's fully Webflow. The features are, let's say, more powerful. And I'm sure if, let's say, they integrate this inside Webflow, there's going to be a lot of limitations because, I mean, one of the problems I'm facing right now with the MCP is the token limit. And it's like you do one page or one job, it's a bit complex. You're wasting a lot of your tokens and you start hitting limits, which is something that, I mean, the calls that this MCP, you know, it does a call, right, to Webflow and then gets a result. Usually these results come very long, detailed, very long. And I think if they work on enhancing this part specifically, it can improve a lot of what we can do with this MCP. And it can really be a way to just, you know, replace whatever they want to integrate inside the platform. I think the platform should just be focused on its, you know, the cool platform, the Webflow platform that we like, the interactions, the designer tool that we use. And I like that there is now an AI assistant, so you can ask it questions on the go, which is also useful. But then you connect it to your MCP, and then you get access through an AI to your website, which is great. And recently as well, there has been something called code components. I've been looking into it today. And this is something really cool. Like, this is something that can be very powerful. You can use it with the MCP, and imagine how much you can create with such a thing. To answer your question, if I think AI inside Webflow is great, I don't know. Like, I'm sure you've used some of those, like Lovable or Replit or these tools that you just prompt and it builds. And these tools are great as well, but the builds are not that efficient in the back end. I mean, it does have some limitations. Yeah, I think Webflow should focus more on the core product. I think that's the main thing. That's the beauty of Webflow itself.
Again, I totally agree. And about those lavables and such. Yeah, it's a like hard thing to do when you have to like prompt everything. Of course, they have implemented more controls, but if there could be a pro tool that has a working AI integration to some sort of AI agent, so you could do it manually, you could do it with AI, whichever you prefer, in whichever specific use case, that could be like the ultimate goal. And I would say that like Webflow has done so many like very technical features lately, like starting from DevLink and Webflow Cloud and the code components. So it would be hard for me to see that they would scrap this MCP thing because, well, coders love integrations, and this is basically one way to integrate and make it more open. So yeah, okay, we're diving deep into the nerdy stuff. So we have to do little introduction. So my name is Janne Parri. I'm your host today, and I'm a general Webflow dude from Finland. And with me today is Yar. Yar, you are in Spain, Barcelona, and
Yes.
your day job is a senior Webflow developer in NoCo, which is a Dutch Webflow agency. So where are your clients, and how does your remote work work?
Yeah, so, well, happy to be here. Thank you for the introduction. I've been working with NoCo for almost a year now, but a year before that, I was working with them as a freelancer. So that's how it started. And yeah, I've been going back and forth to Amsterdam every once in a while. We meet the team there. They have a nice office, but mainly I work from here, from Barcelona. The remote work is something I got used to it because I was a freelancer before this as well. So I got used to working remotely with clients from different parts of the world. So when I joined NoCo, it wasn't that hard to adapt. Now at NoCo, we work with clients that are kind of local to the Dutch market, and mainly now they're getting more clients from the US. So we're getting, I think, a few projects now. The majority of the projects are from the US, but yeah, there's a mix of the Dutch and the US and the portfolio. Working with NoCo has been great. I mean, they have a great team. You have a great designer that I like working with, and it's been a year almost, so been working on some nice websites.
Yeah, that is beautiful. And one thing I didn't mention in the intro, but you also do quite a lot of YouTube videos. So if our viewers have Googled like Webflow MCP in the past couple of months, they have probably seen your face. So where do you find the time to do all the YouTube videos?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that easy. I mean, I guess you can relate. It's something that
Yeah.
takes time, but I mainly do it like in bulk. I do this bulk recording. Sometimes I just put on the camera, have something to talk about, and I do it. Sometimes it turns nice, sometimes it doesn't, so not all the videos come great. However, I always like to explore more, test out more new things on Webflow. I've been working on this platform for quite a while, so I really wanted to share the knowledge with a lot of people. I get a lot of from people, on how to do this, how to do that. So this can be great to create videos. So I create videos that are mainly educational on Webflow. Yeah, and also with my use cases, sometimes I run into some complicated use cases and I solve them and I go like, oh my God, I'm sure someone else has this problem. So let's make a video to solve it. So we do that. And yeah, now it's been a couple of years. I'm here and there, but yeah, it's been a couple of years. So now I'm more used to it, more comfortable doing it. I have a better setup, as you can see. So yeah, that's working well.
Yeah, I can totally relate to the struggle. Everyone knows that they should be doing more content. And usually there's client work and other stuff that skip the line and have to be managed before that. And then it's already evening and you're tired and so on and so forth. But I could ask before we dive back into the nerdy stuff, do you still do like freelance projects, like projects of your own every now and then, maybe?
I do my own side projects sometimes. That is something I cannot give up, and especially now with the AI tools and all this AI advancements that are happening. So I always like to play around these tools, test them out. Even on Webflow, I like to do my own side projects, work on new features, try new things. It's a bit, yeah, like you said, it's a bit difficult to manage the time. Some days you're like super tired after client work, you go like, what can I do now? Just go to sleep. Yeah, I mean, it gets easier once you just push hard through it. It gets easier, and you can do much more in a day than you would think.
Yeah, totally. And when you look like backwards, when you do little bit at the time, after a couple of years, you realize that you have done actually quite much. So it's a long marathon more than a sprint, so to speak. But yeah, kind of relating to your videos, of course, the MCP has been there like recently, but I have seen a couple of videos about the new GSAP UI in a Webflow. So I believe just today they rolled out the updates that they talked about in the Webflow Conf. So what is your like current feel of the tool? Is it like mature? Is there still bugs, and would you use it in an actual client project?
It's been a great tool. I was really happy when they released it. Ever since they said we acquired GSAP, I was certainly sure that they're going to release something like that. It was coming. I played around with it. It does have some limitations. I mean, it's only today that this new update that came out, it's only today that we can do breakpoints animations. So we can set the animations for breakpoints. Before that, it was something like you can do manually, choose a custom trigger, and then you basically do code to trigger on mobile. But now they integrated it natively. I haven't used it much. It's just been this morning I saw the announcement. And yeah, they're improving on it. They're bit by bit, they're adding to it. For simple use cases, let's say like slide in or scroll, simple scroll animation, split text animation, I think this could work. Like there's no issues with that. You can set it up on a real project and just ship it. But for like very complex animations, especially with these special plugins that GSAP have, like Motion Path or Draw SVG, these are not there yet in the Webflow interaction. So you still have to go back to using code and pasting that as JavaScript. which is fine. I mean, we've been doing that for a while, but I see it coming. I see a point where Webflow just has all the GSAP features where you don't have to use code and just do the GSAP features there. Also, one thing I would really like to see is this being integrated in the MCP, where you have interaction tool MCP. Now that will be awesome.
Yeah, you mentioned at the start that there are something like 40 tools, like 40 specific
42
things you can do with the MCP. But yeah, I guess this is not yet there. But I wonder how hard it would be to do a feature like that. I'm not a like in that sense developer, but yeah, do you have any ideas if it's even like possible?
Definitely it's possible. Definitely it's hard. I am not that extensive of a developer, but I think it's something that can be done. Like right now, what you can do with the MCP is paste a script. So you can make the script and cursor, and then it just goes in line on your site. But having direct access to the interaction tool, that would be really cool. And I think that would be a big announcement from Webflow, because it's something that can be very hard to do, especially now that the GSAP thing is still in process. It's changing. It's developing. I'm not sure. Webflow, if you're hearing this, please consider having interaction tools in the MCP. Right now there are 42 tools. Most of them are collections and backend stuff, but these new tools that are designer focused, yeah. So if you add some tools that are interaction focused, will be great. Also, by the way, I don't know when using the API, I don't know if you've used the designer API or the extension, the API, the REST API from Webflow. Also, there is not much API calls for interactions, which I wonder why.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I haven't used those, but yeah, basically no clue. Maybe it is just not a priority for them.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess that's the boring answer always.
This is always somewhere else. I don't know, but the team is doing great work. So wherever that in their priority list, it's okay. It's acceptable.
But yeah, in the last Webflow Conf, which was a week or two ago, the community kind of got what they asked for. Many of us were like asking about these basic updates to basic features like CMS or some other improvements of life updates. Of course, there was AI. It started with the AI and it looked quite bad at the start, but then it got better till the end. So what's your thoughts on the Webflow Conf, and did you see any exciting new features that we haven't talked about yet?
I mean, most of these features are still to be rolled out by the end of the year. So I saw the announcements, but I still didn't play around with them, so I don't know much. It looked cool. And yes, there was a lot of features that answered the community needs. I mean, we know we have the wishlist page. So we have some wishlist features like a CMS slider, for example, something that we've been wanting for a long time. But yeah, I think Webflow is starting to, give more to the community, listen more to what the community needs, what the developers are asking for, and just develop on that. And I think this is great. I mean, this is key to making a better platform. The AI features and all those are still something that is not very much used. I mean, yeah, they're cool, but how am I going to use this with a client project on a short deadline on some, specific asks and specific brand guidelines? It can get a bit tricky. So, given that we're Webflow developers, we know what to do. We don't have to ask the AI, which maybe he can do it, but or he or she or it can do it, but yeah, you do it faster eventually. I would rather do it myself than use the AI. Now, this is developing. We'll see how it develops. But for now, I think the core features are more appreciated by us in the community. Don't you think?
Yeah, totally. Of course, there are some small AI features that actually seemed quite handy. For example, the meta titles and description generation. Of course, again, as always with the AI, there is the question, can I trust this? So can I trust the AI to, let's say, write my company name correctly or that sort of things? But
Yeah.
I always hate on doing the page settings and the alt texts and those sort of tedious stuff. So I'm kind of excited about the AI, although it kind of felt like it is more like for the investors, just because every company has to do like AI features nowadays. But yeah, I'm totally pumped about just little updates to the CMS. But there was this one thing, of course, which is just an announcement. It hasn't rolled out yet. It was this components canvas thing, like a Figma inside of Webflow, to generalize quite much. A new place where one can like edit components. It seems to be a good idea. Of course, time will tell, will it like work? But it is kind of weird to see that, well, Figma is announcing Figma sites, like stepping on Webflow's toes. And now Webflow is kind of hitting back, so to speak. And then there's Framer trying to do everything, like AI generating everything, starting from the sitemaps and those things. So this landscape is quite interesting to follow. And I'm not sure what to think of it. Like, where should I put my money on, and so on. So, any thoughts about those things?
I like how you saw it. It's Webflow getting back at Figma for making Figma sites, which I mean, it makes sense. I mean, these guys just rolled out Figma sites. I don't know if it's a competitor to Webflow directly. I think it's more a competitor to Framer than Webflow. We all know Webflow is a much more extensive or much more like, enterprise focused tool, where you can build very big websites that can scale, that can be managed with CMS. So that's always been its unique selling point or its advantage in the market. And I think that's something that's very hard to replicate, even if Figma rolls out sites or Framer rolls out more of CMS. On the component canvas, that was an interesting one. I saw it, and to be honest, I think it's going to be very useful, because now components are something we use a lot. I've been using more components, especially with the new instances, the new variables that you can use with the component. It's been very useful. But to be honest, you can have a long list, let's say so many components in your project, and it's going to be hard to like look through them or browse them. On Figma, we use components. I know good designers, they always give us like a component page, or you can see through it.
Yeah.
Which is very convenient. So I think having that in Webflow can be really useful. You see all your components in like a bird's eye view and choose and pick from them. I think it's going to be a great feature. I can't wait to use that one.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too. And to be clear, it's probably not going to replace Figma anytime soon. So it is just a place for like building components. But as you said, there is a push towards this component-based building also in Webflow. Like the old editor is being deprecated, and clients should use like the build mode, or the mode that they have rights to, and use the components, which is, in my perspective, a good like way to go. And I like it. Of course, it means that we as the developers have to like build those components. And as you said, there can be huge lists of those components and component properties and so on. So have you found any like balance on how much components you do, and do you do like more static components, or do you try to build like a master component that can morph into whatever need the client wants?
Yeah, I've been doing static components, CMS components. Now we have the page slot, the component slot as well, which is really cool. It's giving a lot of power to the build and to how you give it to the client, because at the end of the day, the client gets the website, and then sometimes they want to like change something, and they might misclick or something might happen. They don't know how to fix it, and it turns out to be bad. But then with components, this is way more manageable. Things, especially the design and the styles, are way more manageable inside the component. The chances of something breaking is very low. I mean, of course, if the components are built well. And yeah, like there's so much to it, like the variance thing, the instance thing, so you can have different instances of the same component. This is really cool. Having CMS, and now you can add filters, conditions. It's getting really powerful. Sometimes I even go for components instead of like CMS, you know, for like stuff like marquee or a simple logo section or something like that. I use a component, you know, make properties instead of having a full-on CMS.
Yeah, and one update which did not come out of the Webflow Conf, but is huge, well, minor thing, but huge deal for many of us, is that you can like handpick the CMS items to show on your component or on your list.
Yeah.
I don't know why that took so long. But yeah, you mentioned the variable instances, or are they like variable modes?
Yeah, modes.
Yeah, sometimes I almost like forget them or their existence, because there are so many things you can do with the features. Webflow is growing to become a huge, like very complicated tool. And I totally get the way you can use them with like different screen sizes. I have like managed to put that in my head, but then you could do so much more. Have you found any good examples way to use them? Usually many people use them with the like themes, so you can have like dark theme or light theme in a section or page and so on. But have you found any other examples?
Like right now, the most I use it, it's modes or instances. I keep mixing them up as well. They're new features, so sometimes the naming gets mixed up. But I'm recently using this mainly with buttons. Let's say you have your primary, secondary, tertiary button, just drop down, you choose it. Been very convenient, you know, instead of like having that combo class way that we used to do it before. With buttons, I think the most convenient way. Also with like grids, it's really convenient to have like a grid, you know, like a grid slot, and then you add to it, you make a 2 grid, 3 grid, and you can handle that better across pages. Another thing that I've been recently doing with components is spacing. So instead of using a div that is a spacer, I use a component that is a spacer, and then I have the instances of its sizes, which really helps. And yeah, I think, I don't know if you've used Lumos framework.
Yeah, I've played around with it.
It's component heavy. It's very component heavy.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they set up the component, and you can change a lot of things, change a lot of instances. I mean, it's out of the box. You get some component ready set. You can get ideas of how you can do your own. So yeah, it's been interesting to see what the community is doing with components. And yeah, we try.
Yeah, as you said, this gets quite complicated. So we were talking about like component modes, but then there's this like the variable like instances, or well, they are not modes, but you can like assign specific values for variables for, let's say, screen size or some other thing. So yeah, it gets complicated. Of course, if you like understand the concepts, you can build very cool and very scalable things, which is kind of the thing that Timothy Ricks tries to do with the Lumos. It is on another level. It is utilizing all the features and all the features in basic CSS and HTML. So that is definitely worth a look. Even if you do not use it, you can get so many good ideas on how you can build in Webflow. But I remember, relating to this, I remember seeing you post on LinkedIn that you like to use client first. So we're getting to the framework question. And is that still the case? And why do you think that client first is suitable for your use case?
Yeah, that has been a very controversial post. A lot of negative and positive feedback from it. But I still do prefer client first. Again, not that Lumos is not good. Lumos is a very good framework, and like you said, even if you don't use it, it's always good to know it, to know what's been used there, and learn from it, which is great. It's like great to have this in the community. But I don't know, lately, well, the past couple of years, it's been getting a lot of updates and massive updates where you have to like watch videos, go through documentations, try to find the resources to understand how this is done, or spend time, spend hours that you relearn the framework. And these hours are valuable hours that the client wouldn't pay for, or the company would not pay for. So it's something that is personal. I don't know. Now, there's an app. So you use an app to synchronize with the framework sizes. So yeah, it's getting a lot to it. But when it comes to client first is a breeze, So when I learned it first, it's been so easy. I mean, it's not as deep as Lumos, but you can make it deep. I mean, this is the beauty of it. You can make it however you want. It's the base for you, and then you build on top of it. And you build it custom for your specific project, for your specific use case. You don't have a lot of out-of-the-box, already set up stuff that gets hard to edit sometimes. These components are really cool, and they use all the components feature, but then in your use case, you might have a difficulty, adapting it to your project. Not all projects are the same, of course. And then client first, yeah, it's been around for a while. It's been similar for a while. Everyone knows client first. A lot of developers, all the developers I worked with and Webflow developers, they know client first. They're familiar with it. They can work on a client-first project. We had the FinSuite tools, which also helped making things easier with client-first. And then Relume came in, and that was wow. And they used client-first. So yeah, I think I still use them. So client-first has been the thing I use the most. And again, it's not against Lumos, but yeah, I think it's the framework that you can easily build on top of however you like. So you can build something that gets even more complex and deep than Lumos for your certain project. It's not like a general thing. And the updates as well, it's something that I understand. Client first is by a big company. Lumos is by a smaller team. But the updates, the frequent updates, heads up about the updates, these sometimes get really frustrating. I mean, the last time this happened, I started the project on a Lumos framework. Midway through the project, we get a new update, a whole different thing. You have to rewatch the videos, adapt to the new stuff. Yeah, it's it's tricky.
There is a value for that sort of like stability, the foundation, at least the foundation of the frameworks, like is the same. And if you visit your old project, that is not completely different than the new one, and it brings some sort of feeling of safety to the developer too. So you do not end up in a place where you have so many different ways of building, even though you like use the same framework. But yeah, I'm totally with you that Lumos is absolutely awesome. It's the most like robust and technical framework there, but many times I might even say, like every time, you can do just fine with the client first. As you said, you can build whatever you want on top of that. So yeah, it is a fascinating talk, and it gets some people a bit emotional, but yeah. But about client first, I have been actually, at least 2 projects, I have been using the new beta version. So they are bringing new features to the client first. I'm not sure what the timeline is. It has been around for a while. I mean, the beta like clonable, and there are more variables. There are a little less nesting inside the divs, so those are cool. And yeah, I've been using that in actual projects. The only thing that bothers me is that for some reason the Relume copying does not work perfectly. So although I have the class sync on, it keeps duplicating the classes. So that is frustrating. I wish that they could push it out of the beta and just publish it, and Relume could do their magic and update all their components. Yeah, Relume is a big thing why I still use Client-First. Yeah. Have you checked out the new beta clonable?
I did check it out, and by the way, like I'm similar to you. Relume is now one of the biggest reasons I use Client-First. Even though Relume has their own, now they're trying to make their own version of Client-First that is Relume compatible, which is cool. But yeah, you still use Client-First project, and then you add some Relume components, and they use the same structure, which is great. Yeah, I've used the beta, and it's cool that they're. I mean, it's about time that they make something that is adaptable to the new features, variables, components, all the breakpoints, and the styles and modes and all those, which is great. But still, I think the core features are still there. Seems lately FinSuite are getting a bit slower on updates, but yeah, I mean, they finally released version 2 of attributes, which was great. I mean, I'm very happy for that. But yeah, they're taking their time, I think, with the
and I'm not sure if it's only up to them, because there's now this board of directors, so there's Relume guys and the community, and every change has to go through the voting system, although we have not seen the voting yet, so someone is like bottlenecking the hell out of this. But yeah, we are excited and waiting for that. But we mentioned Relume a couple of times. Do you like use the site builder in your workflow, or do you just use parts, like just copy some components, or how does it play in your workflow?
I do use the site builder quite often. It's actually really good. I mean, especially creating wireframes and sitemaps to like have a thing that you can right away discuss with the client. Okay, this is how it's going to look like, and these are your sitemaps. These are the sections we're going to use, and you can get feedback right away without getting into too much build. It's been very useful. I use it quite often. And then now they're adding more. There's the style guide option, the design option, which is cool, but I think it's still not really there yet. I mean, it's cool to start the project, but still to do this on a big scale or on like a very enterprise scale, it still needs some more improvement. But however, the wireframe part, it's super convenient because you can just copy the page or pages into your Webflow project. It saves you like half of the time, setting up the elements, naming the components, naming the classes, which can be sometimes frustrating. And so I really like Relume. I think Relume is one of the coolest things in the community that's happening. I mean, they just started so simple, grew to something really huge. Now they're like almost 100 million worth, which is great. I mean, they're almost as big as Webflow, so it's like, yeah.
And I believe they have the capability of like copying the elements to Figma sites now or something like that.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like a side quest, but whatever. But about the Relume, the way I use it is I usually do the sitemap and the wireframes, maybe a bit of like the design side, but I usually just copy the wireframes to Figma and then design in Figma. And then when I start a Webflow project, I copy those same wireframes to Webflow and then build them there. Lately I have been thinking, could there be even like faster way to build design in Figma and build in Webflow, which kind of brings me or us back to the MCP. I know that there is a Figma MCP server.
Yeah.
Have you tried that? And would it be possible to like have one AI to like handle both of them and then just say that copy this design from Figma and put it in Webflow?
Yeah, I've gave that a shot. I tried that for sure. Yeah, I think the Webflow MCP is more powerful than the Figma MCP. The Figma MCP still does not give you that much. It works if, like, let's say content-wise, that works really well. But copying, like, let's say the entire page into Webflow, not there yet. Even components, not that much. And most of these with the MCP will cost you a lot of tokens, and then you hit the limit, and then you like halfway or like not even get the job done, you hit the limit because the AI wastes all the tokens. I know there's the Figma to Webflow app. It's something that I think that should get better. It's really cool now. You can do like variables and styles, and you can just like migrate those really easily. It's still not there with the build, with like the actual build. It's kind of it's good, but it's not that efficient, and it doesn't copy. Like, let's say if you have like a big element with a lot of pictures, it will tell you, oh, you cannot copy all the images. But when it comes to like styles and variables, if let's say the designer makes these projects with a lot of variables and these style names, you can just migrate those with the Figma to Webflow app. Happens instantly, saves you a lot of time in the build.
Yeah. I should definitely check that one out again, because I remember checking it out when it was quite new, and now there's some updates clearly. But doesn't it kind of feel like that there are multiple things trying to do the same thing, like the MCP, the possible or upcoming AI builder agent thingy, and the Webflow, Figma to Webflow app? Every one of those tries to like make it faster and easier to edit the Webflow things instead of using just the designer. Any thoughts?
I would bet on the MCP. I would say just go all out on the MCP, drop the rest of the stuff. I mean, the MCP can get you what both of these tools get you if it's done strongly. And like you mentioned a while back, it might be something that they have to do for the board of directors. We have AI features, which is cool. But I think the MCP can be something that, if improved, can save a lot of time, can help a lot of developers, and can be a great, powerful feature to build on Webflow. I mean, if let's say the MCP gets really good, you can just paste a screenshot of your Figma design into the MCP and send it to Webflow. It builds it, which saves most of the time than a Figma to Webflow app would do. And yeah, I think that's the most promising one. And again, then you have the option to like get other tools like Figma, or even like a Supabase or Notion or something, and you get their MCPs, and you have all these MCPs inside your Cursor workspace. You can do so much powerful stuff. I think I'd bet on the MCP. If I was Webflow, I would just go all in on the MCP.
Yeah, of course the MCP is kind of a bit more technical when you compare it to a native AI chat. But then again, as you said, Webflow is getting to a point that it serves more or bigger clients and maybe enterprise clients, and that is not a huge deal when you have dedicated people to use those features. But I kind of feel that Webflow is missing, maybe intentionally, like the newcomers. So if I would start a web design business or something along the lines today, I would probably go with Framer because it's easy to use and it almost has every little feature that we mentioned, almost like design and all the Relume features and the building things inside one app. Don't you think?
Yeah. Like if I would start a business right now, I would choose Framer. I would go for Framer. It's definitely the faster option, the one that looks nice out of the box, like super easy. You can make it look really cool. The animations are smooth. But then it's like, let's say I start a company, and up until I get my first round of funding, and when I get my first round of funding, I'm going to go Webflow, because then it's about scaling, and I need to scale my website. I have more information to put, and then I need something that scales well, efficient on the browser and the SEO, AEO, or however it is, and that looks nice. And then by then, of course, I will need someone to handle this. I will have a Webflow developer or a developer that's handling the Webflow side. And yeah, I mean, I think that's, for example, it's like building apps. Like let's say now you build some cool app with like a Lovable or a Replit, and you can release it, but then it's not really a scalable app. And then once let's say you want to scale it, or happens that let's say you get funding or it starts to scale, you will need to go to a native option. You need to get a developer. You need to like make this proper, break down, refactor codes, make it secure, and all those stuff. So I think like the Webflow part is like the more advanced websites or the more advanced companies, and they're focusing on that. They're aware of this, and they're pushing on those clients, on those users that use a big extensive websites.
The app comparison is actually great. I have to remember that further down the line. But yeah, Webflow is clearly aiming for the bigger users or bigger companies. And it might be even a good thing that we have things like Framer, like when we think of us like, well, freelancers and Webflow agencies, because now we have a specific like target, and Webflow kind of like forces that. So newcomers, let's say if you are totally new web design freelancer, you might go with the Framer option. But then like the Webflow developers might be a bit more rare because all the newcomers go to the Framer and those other easier to use apps. So our work could be actually more valuable in the long run. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, yeah. I mean, say you're a new company and you come to make a website. Your budget might be a bit limited on how much you can spend on a website. You go to a Webflow developer, gives you a quote, and it's very high. Usually, these Webflow developers they take time, of course, to build on Webflow, and their time is more valuable, let's say, than just like sprinting things up in Framer. Nothing against Framer developers, but then Framer developers can definitely get the job faster, given that Framer is a faster tool, and of course can go for a lower budgeted price. The newcomer can have a budgeted deal. The hosting as well is a bit lower than what Webflow offers on hosting, so the monthly payment will be a bit lower. And again, when a company is starting, I mean, website is important, but then also their operations, their budget, there will be a lot of things. Then comes when they grow to a point where, okay, I can be comfortable making new projects, new technology, new websites. And so then you get to Webflow. And I've seen this happen often. Like I see it a lot. People come from older websites, a Framer, Wix, Squarespace, and they just migrate to Webflow because they want to, scale. So, yeah.
And in the last episode of this podcast, I talked with Igor Voroshilov, and he kind of specializes in this WordPress, from WordPress to Webflow migration. And that's, of course, another beast to tame. Do you do those projects yourself, or are you like in that group that says that no way, not my cup of tea?
I try to not do it, but I've had some of those projects. They're extensive. They take time, especially getting the stuff out of WordPress. It's hell. It's not easy. And if you get tools, it's also expensive and takes time, and you never know if the results are great. You go double check. It's a mess. It gets. There are some of these plugins that I've used in WordPress that extract, let's say, your CMS or something like that. It's still good, but not the best thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super hard. We have some projects at NoCo. Thankfully, at NoCo there are developers in case something, it hits the fan. We can go to these developers. They can just solve it for us. But yeah, it's not easy, I must admit.
Yeah, there's always some like formatting, like simple text formatting when you export, let's say, CMS stuff from WordPress. There's all sorts of short codes and weird fields, and they do not like come in the right form, and you have to do all sorts of tricks to get the data into a nice, good, beautiful CSV to import into Webflow. Yeah. But of course, if you
have you been through this? Sorry to ask. Just have you done?
Yeah. I have done one or two of these projects. They are not my favorite, and I consider, if someone asks if I can do one of those, I will consider it thoroughly before saying yes.
We talked to Igor to help us out with this.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because, of course, that is a need that quite many companies have. And if you can be the guy or girl who like is known for that thing, that could be very, very like good for you and for your business.
Absolutely.
Okay, at least one thing that I still want to talk with you is about Webflow apps. I know that you have some experience with Webflow apps, so tell us more about what apps you have done in your past and what apps you have right now, and what is it like to build a Webflow app?
It's Webflow apps. When they introduced Webflow apps, it was such a great thing. I was super happy. It's something that, you know, it's getting more complex. Your Webflow projects can have more integrations right there in the designer. And I started digging into how to build it. I mean, of course, the Webflow apps basically is just like you have all the API calls and some sort of an app. So you call the Webflow REST API to do some sort of function on your Webflow project. Like I tried to do it with TypeScript, but now I do it with Svelte. And there is a lot of code to it, but the results can be great. And also there is a possibility, which I've used with a client, where you can build something specifically for them, like let's say a component app where they can just click on components or get stuff right of the app without having to go through a style guide or a component page or something like that. And you can build that custom on their workspace, which is also something that can be very useful. I've built Clean Styles first. Clean Styles have been an app that I've been wanting to build, or I've been wanting to have. It's a feature that I've been wanting to have in Webflow, which is finding duplicates and merging them. So like duplicate classes that are in your project can be a lot and can get very messy, if especially like multiple people work on the project. You know, it's been a long time since you worked on it, so you get back on it and you have a new way now of working, new styles to add. So there are styles that are there. So duplicates have been something that I really wanted to solve. So I made Clean Styles for that.
So yeah, basically you can use Clean Styles when your client has edited something and made a mess, so you can clean it up.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Like that's the point. I mean, just to help clean up your styles, help clean up your project, and it happens. It happens more than you would think. That like, let's say there are 5 classes that have font size 1 rem. So yeah, it can get messy. And like, for example, you were mentioning earlier the Relume stuff. When you like bring in Relume components, they come in like button 2 and then button 3 and then button 4, and you just like clean those up with Clean Styles. Yeah, again, it's a feature that I really wanted to have, and when they released Webflow apps, it was possible. I made it. I give thanks to Keegan Larry, Webbay,
Oh yeah,
who taught me how to do these. So yeah, shout out to Webbay.
Keegan has quite a few of his own like handy little apps like SVG import and the Asset Bay.
Yeah,
and
Asset
some
Bay.
others too.
The Clip Path Bay.
Yeah, Clip Bay. Yeah.
That's a good one as well. I have a couple of Svelte as well. Like I use this same technology that Webbay does. Again, he taught me how to do this. And yeah, now I have 2 apps, but there's more on the pipeline.
Oh, beautiful. Can you tell anything about the upcoming apps?
I mean,
some teasers maybe?
Some AI stuff for sure. Some AI apps, but yeah, let's see. Let's wait and see. I mean, I still in the process. But Clean Styles, I mean, I'm putting a lot of focus on Clean Styles. I added more features to it. Now you can like bulk rename classes. If you remember, the FinSuite tool had this folder naming feature, but then they removed it. So I made something that's similar, where you can bulk rename folders.
I believe it was the FinSuite extension, and then there was some sort of update on Webflow's part, and now they are updating or maybe doing an app version of that or something like that. But very handy tools there too.
Yeah. There was also the combo merge, where you merge combo classes. Yeah, so I created that too in Clean Styles.
Okay.
It's something I used to use a lot, and when they discontinued it, I was like, no, this is not good.
Yeah, I'll fix this. I'll do this on my own.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I'm gonna do this. But yeah, I think Webflow apps is great. I mean, it takes a bit of time to like just get to know how to get the hang of it. But then once you do, I think it's a very powerful thing. You can do a lot with it. Even AI stuff, like you can make AI call, you can make a data API directly to like OpenAI key, and you just do a lot of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Webflow apps are cool.
What if a person like me who knows Webflow is not a expert coder but is not scared of coding, wanted to start diving into the Webflow apps and building some simple little handy apps? What should I like do first, and what would be my path?
I mean, now it's a blessing. We have Cursor. Cursor is my favorite coding tool, and then you can go to the documentations. They offer like a sample project, like a starter project, which you can download, plug into Cursor, and then you can start building. And this is like the fastest way to do it. You can do a lot with this. I mean, it's just straight out of the box. You take the sample and you just add to the main code. You change it through Cursor. This is there. Now you can build almost a lot of apps using that. It uses TypeScript, so it's pretty powerful. However, if you get more into it and you start using technologies like Svelte and Vite for faster development process, faster testing, more complex apps, yeah, I think that then it will get more interesting. But yeah, to start, I would say get Cursor, get the sample project, give it a shot, see how far it takes you, and then yeah, I'll be doing more. I want to do more educational content, so I'm going to be doing more educational content about building Webflow apps, because I think there's a lot of potential. A lot of people have great ideas, especially Webflow developers. They have great ideas on features that I don't even think of, but then it solves a problem that I have that I didn't know I have. So these guys can just plug in, make a Webflow app, push it to the marketplace. The second app I made is called ArcText. It's basically just arcs your text. So if you have a text, you can make it to a circle. Something super simple. Yeah. Or an arc, like a half a circle. Yeah. Super simple use case. Yeah. You just make an app.
Yeah. Why not? And that is actually my experience with the web-based apps too. So I didn't know that I have this problem, but now it saves me a ton of time. So that is awesome. And same with the clean styles. I have been playing around with that too a couple of times. So that is awesome. But are there any like fees or like upkeep things I should consider before doing an app? Of course, if I use some sort of paid API, let's say ChatGPT or OpenAI or those things, but if I just have a static app, do I have to pay for that in any way?
Not really. So a Webflow API has two things. There's a designer API and a data API. The designer API is where we build, let's say, designer extension, something like Clean Styles or Clip Bath Bay or these small features that are mainly inside the Webflow platform. We're not getting outside. We're not doing anything outside of it. And it's mainly focused on the designer tool. So we're not using CMS. We're not using any data that is, let's say, external use, just designer tools. So it's a designer extension. These are free. I mean, they don't cost anything. Of course, maintaining or updating them, it's something that you do personally, like as a preference. But then once you release it, it's there's not much to update. However, then it gets to the data API, and the data API is where you use external resources plus the CMS. So here's where it might get costly. There might be some hosting that you'll be doing, and there might be some data that you'll be saving. This is where you should consider some budget when you build those data apps. Like for example, Asset Bay, it's a data API. It's using the data API. It calls to ChatGPT, and of course this costs money, and then that's why you need to sign up. Recently, I've been talking about this Miyagi app. I don't know if you've seen it, Miyagi.
No, I haven't.
It's a cool app. It's like a AI inside Webflow. So it's like a cursor AI. You chat with it and it builds stuff for you, and it does things for you. Yeah, and it's using both. Like this is they call it a hybrid app. So the hybrid app uses both designer extension and the data extension. So you still need to sign up, you still need to pay for credits, of course, but then you have access to both the designer and the data API. So yeah.
That
But
is
designer
super
extensions,
fascinating.
designer extension, I would go for designer extension. If you're willing to build an app, go for a designer extension.
Yeah. First, of course, I should start with something big, but you know how the minds work. My mind is already thinking on how I can get rich with this thing. So I'll probably start by Googling some or ChatGPTing about Stripe integration or something like that.
Yeah, that's the first. Like you have to do it. If that API, then you can get monetized. You can monetize it for sure.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of like Webflow talk, which is of course the idea of these podcasts. But I kind of want to know if you nerd out on anything else than Webflow. Let's say out of like this work context. What is your like hobby or something that you nerd out on?
Well, I mean, lately the AI has been the thing that I'm getting into. A lot of these AI tools, not only related to Webflow, like these image tools, the video tools that are going on, the voice tools. I mean, there's a very cool tool called Sesame, sesame.com. It's super impressive how well they build the conversational AI. Yeah, so I've been getting into those a lot, but then again, as well, having very little time to do these stuff, I'm limited. Other than that, like I try also to leave the digital world, do some sports. I like doing sports, so I'm like a regular sports guy, but it's my outlet out of this digital world, and I enjoy it. I enjoy running. I do weightlifting sometimes as well, swimming as well.
How about I know that in Spain, paddle tennis is quite big thing.
True, yeah, it's huge here. There's the courts everywhere, and we play often. There's an app you can just get into a team, and just whenever time is convenient for you, you find a spot and you just meet people this way and you just play paddle.
Oh.
It's super cool, yeah. The culture here for paddle is super cool.
Yeah, we should have that kind of thing here in Finland. I live in a quite small town, but at least the bigger cities, that would be very helpful. Maybe there is something like that, but
yeah,
it's cool to see how like technology brings people together in like real world. That is super nice.
Yeah.
But about the AI stuff, I just realized that, well, we have these like voice cloners, and of course with Notebook LM you kind of can get your own like podcast about topics. And then there's video creation. So I was one day wondering if this like video podcast thing will be a relic of the past, and we just let our AIs do the talking, and they will be much more smooth talking and have more like better opinions and all that stuff. But yeah, that goes to the same pile as everything AI related.
I don't know.
AI and honest, future related. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like. I think we like. I don't want to get too cliche, but I think the human touch is very, very important. And even like today, I saw Sora 2, the video generator.
Yeah.
And the ad for it was really cool because it got Sam Altman himself generated by this tool. So as soon as you see the ad and you go like, something's off, so I don't like this, something is not right. And then he goes like, okay, this is AI generated. I'm not real. Like, you see him in space, you see him flying around and stuff. Yeah, I think it will get to a point where it gets really good and all that, but we still like the human part. I mean, now, especially now, like I think doing a podcast at this moment, at this stage, while this AI thing is growing and you're growing, by then you're just like, you be the guy that I would like to watch Jan instead of going on an AI, watching an AI thing that I know is generated. Most of it, I can't connect with it as much as a real.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of and totally with you, because even though like someday AI might rule the world and do everything for us, we still want to talk to a person, and we are interested in other people's like opinions, not the AI's opinion. And kind of same thing in like chess. The computers beat the best chess players, but there are huge amounts of people still playing chess against each other. And then there's all the leagues where human and computer teams play against each other. Some might even say that chess is more popular than ever, and maybe we will realize how cool it is to listen to some Finnish person talking with very nerdy stuff as a non-native English speaker and so on. But yeah, it's fascinating to see where it all goes from here.
Yeah, I mean, like having like, let's say an AI podcast, it's too perfect. I don't know if I can connect with that. Having something that is real, that is honest, is like, okay, this is a person from a certain part of the world, in this case from Finland. It connects me more. It gives me more, okay, I'm talking to someone from Finland. How cool is that? But if I'm talking to an AI, it's just like I'm talking to a machine. I don't know. It's too perfect. Everything's like top notch. I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we should do more like human things just to make it clear that we are not AI at some point when AI is getting better and it's very hard to distinguish if a video is AI generated. Then we'll have to do all sorts of weird human things. And maybe we should swear more because AI doesn't usually swear and do all sorts of other things, so on.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah. Did you have anything to add,
No, I mean,
about the AI?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just like, it's also, we don't know like how is this gonna evolve, but yeah, I'm voting for humans. I'm on the human side on this.
Yeah. Of course, it's kind of like hard to think because, well, I know that my retirement is quite far away.
Yeah.
And yours is too, probably. You at least look like a young guy. So the internet itself is not too old. Webflow turned, I believe, 10 a year back or something like that.
Yeah.
So in 30 years, when we might be still doing the work, what will the world look like then? And it's kind of like impossible to say, so it's kind of scary. Are we still doing like Webflow builds and just trying to do it faster, or are we doing something completely different?
MCP will get better by then for sure. Yeah, that will be more powerful.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it is like it's unpredictable at all. Like especially with how fast things are going, how much things are happening. It's very unpredictable. The world is in a very fast pace right now. Things are, super going on, like super fast, super unpredictable. But then again, this is just this is how the ball rolls. I mean, we started with the internet. We saw how things went on. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna rule us." And then got more. I mean, more and more in like the 2010, like to say the Web 2.0. Apps came in, these like Airbnb, these a lot of Uber apps, changed a lot of industries, got us more reliant on the technology. So we started, like, I remember my parents used to like get really scared when I want to buy something online and I want to use my dad's credit card.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way you're putting my credit card in the machine. And now it's like, it's saved, it's your Apple Wallet. You just like click double clicks and you just buy whatever you want.
Was it like yesterday or day before that when OpenAI or ChatGPT came out with this shopping feature, so you can basically shop through the ChatGPT?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
maybe
I saw that one. Yeah.
that's kind of
I mean,
wild, but of course it's the way it goes. Do you think that there is some sort of AI bubble going on, that we are too hyped about AI?
I think so. There has been like a very clear patterns of a bubble. The spending on AI has been massive. And yeah, I think like AI is it's not gonna go away. AI is like the internet. It was like the internet bubble when the internet bubble happened. There was a lot of ambition, and then it's just like it was overdone. This time it's again looking very similar. But I think the AI is staying. It's just going to be about how much more powerful it gets, and then it's going to be something that is going to be integrated everywhere. It's going to be within everything that we use, instead of having, like, let's say, apps and certain stuff that gets us access to the AI. It's just going to be part of it, like the internet. We all use the internet now. We use things on top of the internet, and it's going to be like that. Of course, on a much bigger and a more complex scale, the AI is a technology that's way more advanced than the internet. But I think it's something like that. Yeah, so it's a very interesting future, very interesting time to be alive.
Yeah. For example, the ChatGPT 5 was quite a disappointment. It was a minor update. Everyone was waiting for something big, so it might tell us that we have somehow reached the ceiling of LLMs, and in order to get to the next level, we need something else, some sort of different technology or something. Yeah, something else. And if we do not find that, then all the hype is for nothing.
Yeah, but I also think there has been some restrictions on the advancement of AI. There's been a lot of problems going on, and they wanted to make regulations and ways of how much this is advancing. Before it advances too much and they don't know what to do, they wanted to slow it down, let's say. Yeah, I remember the difference between ChatGPT 3, let's say, and ChatGPT 4 was huge, and we were all like, wow, this is a huge difference. But then ChatGPT 5 came, and I felt like watching an Apple keynote, when you get the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 13, it's changed from aluminum to titanium or something like that. So it was a very minor update. Sam came all in felt like Steve Jobs, watching Steve Jobs give a keynote. But yeah, ChatGPT 5 was compared to 3 to 4, 4 to 5 was not that huge.
Yeah, that is true.
And I think the regulations hold them back, the new regulations, the new systems, whatever is going on there in Silicon Valley is holding them back. But yeah, let's see.
Yeah. Okay, we have talked so much about AI. I kind of have to ask you, what tools do you use and what subscriptions do you have? You mentioned Cursor a couple of times. So do you have all the subscriptions and use all of them, or do you double down on some of them?
Yeah, I pay a lot to Cursor, that's for sure. Because I use the Pro plan, the Pro Plus plan, and I sometimes use these max modes where you just put your API key. And lately as well, I've been using Cloud Code. It's quite nice. Cloud Code, you can have it in the terminal, and I sometimes use it with Cursor. So I pay for that subscription as well. I don't use Cloud itself much, but I use Cloud Code a lot. Yeah, so these two tools. And of course, ChatGPT, I have the regular plan just to get with the new features, to get chats, basically. You get new updates, new talks, you have a question, you have something that you want to have a small use case. I would use ChatGPT. Also, Perplexity. So I get Perplexity, which is a great search AI. They're adding a lot of nice features to it. I get Perplexity Pro with Revolut. So I just opted for that, and I have that subscription going on as well. What else do I use?
What about Gemini? Cool.
Gemini. Actually, Gemini, I've recently signed up to it for the storage space mainly, because it gives you you pay the same amount that you would pay, let's say, ChatGPT, and it's $20-$25, and then you get this 2 terabyte storage. You get access to all their AI tools, and yeah, so I signed up for that recently. I'm not using it much, to be honest, but the nano banana feature is mainly what I go for. It's really cool to make those images. But yeah, the chat itself, I don't know. I got used to ChatGPT, I guess, so I just used that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of how should I say it? Most mature, the best general. If you just wanna talk to an AI that has the best apps and best features. So I am always looking for some more specific AIs or AIs for specific use case, but I always come back to ChatGPT because it's just regularly the best for conversation and those things.
Actually, you should try Sesame. I mentioned it a while back, but it's a really, really good conversational AI. Now, it's still like a research project. You can have a preview of it and you can chat with it. And the way it talks, it's a human. It's like a human. It sighs, it laughs, it has poses. It's wow. I mean, the technology there, it's very impressive. Yeah, this is one of the tools that really impressed me.
Oh, cool. I definitely have to try that out because I usually like to talk to the AI, and even sometimes when I'm out with our dog, instead of listening to a podcast, I just chat with the AI. So have a kind of something like a coaching call or something like that. So yeah, that is a good tip. Okay, Yar, we have one thing to go through in this episode. I'm not sure if you have watched my previous episodes till the end. There's one weird Finnish thing at the end of every episode, and it is this thing where I say a Finnish saying or an idiom. I translate it to English word for word, and your job is to know or guess what that saying means. Is that clear?
It's clear. And you got me. I'm guilty. I did not get to this part.
Yeah, and this is just good because it's a surprise, and these are usually quite funny ones. To give you some sort of score, there has been only one person that has guessed the saying right, so no pressure. And your saying, I'll say this firstly in Finnish, is ei tässä jäniksen selässä olla. And word for word in English, it is, we're not sitting on a rabbit's back. So what does it mean when I say to you that we're not sitting on a rabbit's back?
Definitely has to do with, life moving fast, the fast movement that we're not catching up to the fast movement of life, something like that. It's interesting.
Yeah. And to be honest, sometimes I just realize how weird like Finnish language is. Probably there's a lot of this in every language, but you are kind of close. So it means that we are not in a hurry. So we are not sitting on a rabbit's back. So we're not in a hurry. Next time you say to your coworker that we do not have to hurry, just say that we're not sitting on a rabbit's back and see the face that he or she makes.
I'm definitely going to use that. It's very nice. Thank you for sharing this with me. Like I have now some Finnish saying to share with people. It's very nice.
Yeah. I can send you some more, but let's start with the first one. Okay, Yar, if someone wants to know more of you and maybe watch your YouTube videos and maybe connect with you, where should they go?
So I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me Yar Al Roshidi, my name, or Yar Webflow. I think if you write Yar Webflow on, let's say, YouTube, you can find my channel. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm on X, not as much, just to not get distracted. But yeah, I'm on this 3 platform. So just hit me up, Yar Webflow, Yar Al Roshidi, and I'll be happy to talk, to collaborate, to just chat.
Yeah. And I'll put all the relevant links in the description. Also, the NoCo link and clean styles. And are there any other relevant things that we mentioned? A bunch of AI tools, but regarding to you.
Yeah, clean styles. I would love to hear more feedback from people about clean styles. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, cool. Okay, that's about it. Thank you so much, Yar, and we'll see everybody in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.